The galaxy was restless. Rumors moved like wildfire through trading stations and border worlds. Everyone whispered about humanity. They said humans were growing too fast, too clever, and too unpredictable. The Galactic Council had laughed at first, but fear had started to creep into their meetings. Finally, Alien Command decided it was time to act. They would not risk humanity becoming a power they could not control. So they deployed their most dangerous force, the Elite Squad, a unit of warriors trained for centuries, feared across countless worlds. Every planet knew their name. When the elite arrived, empires fell. When they fought, resistance collapsed within days. Alien Command believed Earth would be no different. High above Earth's orbit, their massive warship appeared like a black shadow blotting out the stars. Cities below looked up in fear as the sky rumbled. The news spread in seconds. Alien fleet has arrived. People froze in streets. Children clutched their parents, and the world waited. But humanity did not scream. They did not beg. They watched. They prepared. Inside the alien flagship, the commander of the elite stood tall, his armor gleaming like liquid metal. His soldiers knelt in perfect silence, their claws resting on weapons older than Earth's civilizations. He spoke with a voice that echoed through the chamber. Humans believe they are strong. We will break that illusion. We will crush them before they take another step into the stars. The order was given. Dropships broke away from the flagship and pierced through Earth's atmosphere like burning meteors. People in cities gasped as fiery trails lit the skies. The invasion had begun. But what the aliens did not know was that Earth was not blind. For years, humanity had been preparing in silence. They had hidden their greatest inventions, their boldest weapons, far away from alien eyes. Beneath the mountains, under oceans, and deep within secret bunkers, humanity had built its answer. In one such bunker, a man stood watching the skies on a glowing screen. His face was calm, his voice steady. He was a commander, not of alien bloodlines, not of ancient empires. He was human, and his words carried more weight than the entire Galactic Council could understand. "They are here," he said softly. Around him, soldiers straightened, scientists pressed buttons, engineers activated hidden machines. The ground shook as massive doors opened underground. Something old and powerful began to wake. Above, the alien dropships landed with thunder. Metal claws cut into Earth's soil, and the elite warriors marched out in formation. They looked around at the human streets, the buildings, the silent crowds. One alien laughed. "These creatures are fragile. They are not warriors." But no human replied. They only watched, their eyes cold, their stance unshaken. The elite commander stepped forward, his weapon glowing with deadly energy. He raised his arm toward the humans and shouted, "Kneel or burn." The crowd stood still. No one knelt. For the first time, the elite felt something strange. It was not fear in human eyes, it was defiance. From the distance, a deep rumble grew louder. The ground trembled, windows shattered, birds scattered into the skies. The elite soldiers turned sharply, sensing danger. Out of the horizon, hidden doors in the earth split open, and colossal shapes began to rise. Human war machines, sleek and armored, glowing with blue energy, rolled forward with unstoppable power. The humans had been ready all along. The elite commander's smile faded. This was not what Alien Command had promised him. This was not weakness. This was not fragility. This was something else, something dangerous, something legendary. The first clash had not even begun, but already, the galaxy's most feared warriors felt a shadow of doubt, and above them, watching from his bunker screen, the human commander whispered, "Let them come." The dropships of the elite stood like monsters on the broken ground. Their soldiers spread out, scanning streets and alleys with cruel precision. They expected fear, chaos, and surrender, but everywhere they looked, the humans stared back, silent and unshaken. In the alien flagship above, reports came in. No resistance, no attack. The humans simply wait. The elite commander smiled, believing his victory was certain. He did not know the truth. The silence of Earth was not weakness. It was the sound of something hidden. Far beneath the mountains, machines hummed to life. Bunkers deep under the oceans unlocked their gates. Secret bases carved into the deserts flickered with glowing light. Humanity's long preparation was awakening. For decades, governments had argued, empires had risen and fallen. But on one thing, humanity had agreed: the universe would never see them unprepared. In one command center, an old scientist adjusted his glasses. His voice was quiet but carried to every soldier in the room. They believe they will crush us in hours, but they have no idea what waits in the dark. Around him, screens lit up with images of hidden weapons, orbital satellites, cloaked drones, engines of war that no alien spy had ever discovered. The humans had built their defense in shadows, and now the shadows were lifting. Above ground, the elite squad marched toward the heart of a human city. Their leader ordered the humans to kneel, but the crowd refused. Children clutched their parents' hands, not with terror, but with iron determination. A soldier whispered to his commander, "Why do they not fear us?" The commander gave no answer, because he had begun to wonder the same. Then it began. The streets shook, the ground split. From beneath the earth rose enormous structures of steel and fire, human war machines massive and alive with energy, weapons pointed at the invaders, glowing brighter with every passing second. The first blast came like thunder. A beam of light streaked across the street and struck an alien tank. The explosion shook the skies. For the first time in centuries, the elite squad staggered. Their legendary armor cracked. Smoke filled the air and the humans advanced. In the shadows of a skyscraper, a lone human soldier stepped forward. His voice was steady, his words cutting through the chaos. "You came here thinking we are prey, but you never asked what happens when prey learns to fight back." The elite commander raised his weapon, fury burning in his eyes. "Crush them now," he ordered. The aliens unleashed fire across the city, but the humans had already moved. Their speed, their unpredictability, their willpower turned the battle into chaos. Alien warriors struck with precision, but humans struck with heart, and heart was something no alien training had ever prepared for. High above, the Galactic Council received its first desperate message from the elite. "These humans are not what we were told. They fight with machines we have never seen. They fight with something we do not understand." The council fell silent. For centuries, the elite had never once asked for help, and now, facing humans, they did. But on Earth, the humans were only beginning to show their power. In hidden bunkers across the planet, more weapons came alive. Old ships buried under ice cracked free from their prisons. Satellites in orbit turned their hidden eyes toward the invaders. Humanity was no longer defending. Humanity was rising. The elite commander tightened his grip on his blade. This was supposed to be a simple mission, but as he watched the humans stand unbroken in the fire, he felt something his kind had not felt in generations: doubt. And far below in the command bunker, the human commander whispered the words the galaxy would never forget. Now we begin. The streets of the human city burned with light and fire. Alien soldiers marched forward with cruel precision, their claws slicing through metal doors, their weapons tearing apart stone walls. Every world they had conquered before had fallen in hours. They believed Earth would be the same. But tonight, their certainty was about to break. From the smoke, human soldiers advanced, not in fear, but in silence. They moved like shadows between broken buildings. Every step was calculated, every strike unexpected. Alien warriors fired beams that cut through steel, yet humans slipped aside with reflexes too fast, too wild. It was chaos the aliens could not predict. One alien soldier shouted, "They are undisciplined, they are reckless." But as he fell to a human blade, his dying eyes saw the truth. Reckless or not, the humans fought with something stronger than training. The first direct clash came at the heart of the city square. The elite commander himself charged forward, his glowing blade cutting through the air. A lone human soldier met him head-on, his armor dented, his weapon crude compared to alien technology. Yet when the blades collided, the sound shook the skies. The commander expected to crush the man in one strike. Instead, the human stood firm, his eyes burning with fire. The crowd gasped as sparks rained across the square. The galaxy's greatest warrior had been stopped by a human. Above the city, a deafening roar echoed through the night. The clouds split apart, revealing dark shapes descending from orbit. Alien officers smiled, believing reinforcements had arrived, but then their smiles vanished. Those were not alien ships, they were human craft, long hidden, cloaked in silence for years. Now they revealed themselves in full power, engines blazing, weapons glowing with unearthly light. The sky itself became humanity's battlefield. The first strike came from a bove. A human fighter dived through the clouds, releasing a barrage of fire that ripped through alien armor. One of the elite's dropships exploded in a storm of flames, its wreckage crashing into the streets. Alien soldiers turned in shock. "This is impossible," one hissed. But the impossible was happening before their eyes. In the council chamber light years away, the elders watched the live feed. They leaned forward in silence. Never before had the elite been pushed back, yet the screens showed alien warriors staggering, their perfect formations shattered by human unpredictability. An elder whispered, "If they can resist the elite, what will they become tomorrow?" Back on Earth, the battle grew fiercer. Alien fire tore through buildings, yet humans refused to break. A group of young soldiers trapped an elite squad inside a narrow alley. They detonated charges on the walls, collapsing the street onto the invaders. The explosion lit the night, and when the dust cleared, only humans walked away. The elite commander roared in fury. He struck again at the lone human who stood before him. This time his blade cut deep, yet the soldier refused to fall. Blood on his lips, he raised his weapon once more. "You will not break us," he said, his voice echoing across the square. For the first time in centuries, the commander felt his hands tremble. The humans had shown their answer. It was not just weapons, not just machines. It was something greater. It was the refusal to kneel. It was the fire of survival. It was the strength that legends are born from. And as the elite realized they were facing not prey but predators, the galaxy itself held its breath. The city was burning, but humanity did not fall. Every blast, every strike only revealed more of their hidden strength. The elite fought with pride, but for the first time in living memory, their advance slowed, their commander snarled in rage, his blade dripping with energy. "This is not possible," he roared. But the battlefield whispered a different truth. Far beneath the chaos, in a bunker carved into the earth, around him, engineers and scientists worked without rest, their hands moving across panels of light. "Is it ready?" he asked in a low voice. A young officer nodded, sweat running down his face. "Yes, sir." The cloaks are disengaged. The commander's lips curved into a thin smile. "Then show them what we have hidden." Above the planet, the night sky seemed to tremble. The stars themselves appeared to shift, and then from the darkness, colossal shapes emerged. Warships, ancient yet alive with power, slid out of their invisible shells. For years they had orbited Earth unseen, cloaked from every alien eye. Now they revealed themselves, rows upon rows of Terran steel, armed with weapons the galaxy had never recorded. On the ground, alien soldiers froze as shadows swept across the battlefield. They looked up, their voices breaking with disbelief. "Human ships, this cannot be." We scanned the orbit. There was nothing. But there was something waiting, something legendary. The human fleet moved in silence, their engines humming like the heartbeat of giants. Light flared along their sides, and then the sky itself opened with fire. Beams of energy rained down, slicing through alien dropships, one by one. The proud vessels of the elite shattered and burned, the battlefield lit with explosions so bright they blinded even the most hardened warriors. The elite commander staggered back as he watched the impossible unfold. His soldiers had been trained for centuries to dominate any enemy, but against humans their training failed, their weapons cracked, their ranks broke, their confidence bled away. In the Galactic Council chamber, the elders rose from their seats in shock. Screens showed Earth's fleet breaking through the elite like waves tearing through sand. One elder whispered, "They hid this, all this time, they hid this." Another trembled, "If humans can hide a fee, elite from us, what else are they hiding?" Back on Earth, the human commander gave his order, "Push them back, do not let them breathe." The war machines on the ground surged forward, crushing alien tanks beneath their treads. Drones filled the skies, darting between buildings and raining fire on the invaders. Everywhere, humans fought not as victims, but as hunters. Every strike was proof. Every scream of the aliens was a message. Earth was not prey, Earth was power. The elite commander raised his blade one final time and roared for his soldiers to regroup. But even as he shouted, his voice cracked. He could not deny what he saw in human eyes: defiance, determination, and something far greater, the will to rise higher than any empire had ever allowed. The humans had unveiled their hidden advantage, and the galaxy had only seen the beginning. The battlefield shook as fire lit the skies. Alien dropships fell burning from orbit, their wreckage smashing into the streets they once believed they controlled. The elite commander roared for his soldiers to hold their ground, but the fear in their eyes betrayed them. For centuries they had been the galaxy's hammer, but now they were breaking. Human war machines rolled forward, their cannons tearing through alien ranks. Drones swarmed above like hunting birds, striking targets before the elite could react. From underground bunkers, hidden artillery rose and unleashed storms of fire. The planet itself seemed to fight alongside its people, yet the aliens were not finished. With a scream that shook the ground, the commander activated his last weapon. From his warship above, a massive surge of energy descended, a beam that could erase entire cities in moments. The humans below stared as the sky glowed red. The council had given the commander permission to burn Earth to ash, but humanity was ready. On a distant mountain peak, an ancient device came alive. It had been built in secret, guarded for decades. A defense cannon older than most human wars, but perfected in silence. It fired. The beam from the alien ship met the human cannon's light in the sky. The clash split the heavens open. Thunder roared like 1,000 storms, and then, to the horror of the elite, the alien weapon cracked apart. Their unstoppable force had been stopped. In that moment, a single human pilot made his move. He soared through the smoke in a small fighter, his craft trembling from damage. His voice came through the comms. "If we fall fighting, but not today." He dived straight into the alien flagship's defenses, weaving between blasts of fire that should have ended him. Alien officers shouted in panic, "He cannot breach us, he cannot." But he did. He tore through their shields, releasing a payload that ripped into the warship's core. The explosion turned night into day. The commander on the ground looked up as his flagship burned in the sky. For the first time in his life, he felt despair. The humans below erupted in cheers. Their courage fed the battle like wildfire. Every soldier fought harder. Every machine struck with fury. The tide had turned, and now the elite, the galaxy's most feared force, was retreating step by step in the council chamber. Silence crushed the elders. They had sent their finest, and their finest were falling. One elder whispered, "If humanity can destroy the elite, then no empire will be safe." On Earth, the human commander's voice rang out through the comms. "Do not stop, do not give them space, push them until they break." And the humans obeyed. The streets shook as the invaders were forced back, their perfect armor cracked, their flawless lines shattered, their pride bleeding into the soil. The elite commander raised his blade one last time and shouted for his soldiers to regroup, but his voice no longer inspired fear. It sounded hollow, desperate, broken. The war was no longer in balance. It belonged to humanity, and as the fires raged and the skies blazed with wreckage, the galaxy watched in disbelief. The elite were not conquering Earth, they were losing. Across the stars, silence spread like a shadow. Every outpost, every trading hub, every distant colony tuned into the transmissions. The unthinkable had happened. The elite, the undefeated hammer of alien command, were faltering on Earth. On the burning ground, alien soldiers staggered back, their armor broken, their weapons shattered. Human war machines pressed forward with fire in their engines and rage in their hearts. The battlefield was no longer in doubt. It was Earth's. In the Galactic Council chamber, the elders shouted over one another, their voices rising in panic. "They are only humans," one cried. "This is a planet of primitives," another insisted. But the screens before them told the truth they could not escape. Humans had faced the elite, and the elite were losing. An elder slammed his fist onto the table, his voice sharp. "If they can defeat our strongest, then what happens when they turn their eyes to the stars?" The chamber grew cold. For centuries, the council had believed themselves untouchable. Now a single world had shaken that illusion. Back on Earth, the human commander stood in his bunker. His voice reached every soldier, every pilot, every citizen. "They came to break us. Instead, we have broken them. Do not fear their power. They fear ours." His words echoed across channels, feeding human hearts with fire. Even civilians took to the streets, carrying weapons, throwing supplies to soldiers, refusing to hide. This was not only a war of armies, it was a war of a people who refused to kneel. Above the planet, the wreckage of alien ships drifted like burning stars. The Council's fleet commander sent a desperate message requesting reinforcements, requesting planetary purge authorization. The words chilled the chamber of the elders. A planetary purge, the destruction of Earth itself. A decision that could change the galaxy forever. In the chamber, the debate tore them apart. Destroy them now before they grow stronger. No, if we burn their world, every other species will rise against us. They cannot be allowed to stand, they cannot be allowed to rise. Voices clashed like thunder, but beneath their words was the same truth. They feared humanity. On Earth, the battle still raged. The elite commander, his armor cracked and his pride bleeding, fought like a cornered beast. He struck down human after human, his fury unmatched. Yet no matter how many fell, more rose to take their place. For every soldier lost, 10 more humans stepped forward. The commander's voice shook as he cried to his soldiers, hold, we cannot fall here." But his words no longer inspired. They sounded like a plea. In the skies, human fighters darted between flaming wreckage, chasing down the last of the invaders. One pilot whispered into his comms, "Tell the galaxy what you see. Tell them humans do not bow." And indeed, the galaxy watched. Billions of eyes stared into screens and holoprojectors. Some species trembled. Some whispered in awe. For the first time, they saw humans not as prey, not as weaklings, but as a storm that could not be contained. In the shadows of the council chamber, one elder leaned forward, his voice low. "We tried to control them. We tried to cage them, but humanity was never meant to be caged." And in that single moment, the galaxy realized the truth. Earth was no longer a world to underestimate. Earth was a force to fear. The battlefield was fire and ash. Alien banners that once terrified empires lay trampled in the dust. The elite, the pride of alien command, stood scattered and broken. Yet still, their commander roared, refusing to accept defeat. He raised his blade, its light flickering with the last of his strength. "You cannot win. We are the galaxy's strongest. We are the chosen of the council." His voice cracked through smoke and thunder, but across from him stood the human commander, his uniform scorched, his face hard as steel. He did not raise his voice. He only whispered words that carried further than any shout. "Not today, not ever." The clash shook the square. Alien steel met human fire. The commander fought with the fury of 10 worlds, but every strike was matched, every step countered. Around them, humans and aliens alike paused, watching the two leaders collide in the storm. And then, in a single moment, the human commander struck. The alien's blade shattered, breaking into shards that scattered across the ground. The sound was like thunder announcing the end of an age. The alien commander fell to his knees, his pride bleeding heavier than his wounds. He looked up at the human, his voice trembling. "What are you?" The answer came like lightning. "We are humanity. We are the storm you thought would never come." Above them, Earth's fleet unleashed its final strike. A wave of fire tore across the skies, shattering what remained of the alien armada. The stars themselves seemed to burn with human defiance. For the first time, the elite retreated not in order, but in chaos. Their perfect discipline lost, their fear carved deep into their bones. In the Galactic Council chamber, silence crushed the elders. The screens before them showed the impossible, the elite destroyed, their fleet scattered, their commander defeated on the soil of Earth, one elder whispered. This was supposed to be a warning strike. Instead, it has become their legend. Another trembled. If they rise beyond their planet, no one will stop them. But across Earth there was no fear, only fire. Civilians stood on rooftops, cheering as alien wreckage fell from the skies. Soldiers raised their weapons high, their voices united as one. The message echoed across the stars. Earth was not prey. Earth was not weak. Earth had answered. The galaxy listened. Some species trembled in terror, others whispered in hope, and in every corner of space one truth spread like wildfire. The humans had faced the galaxy's strongest, and they had not only survived, they had won. In the ashes of battle, the human commander stood with his soldiers. He looked to the sky where the last of the alien ships fled into the dark, his words carried into history. They thought we would kneel. Instead, we rose. This is our answer. Let the galaxy remember. And so it was written in whispers and in thunder. Against humanity, even legends would fall, and from that day forward, every star remembered Earth's name.